back to the Unexplained Archives, where you get your weekly dose of spooky. I'm Jamie, one of the hosts.
Hello, and I am Jen. I am the other host.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing
Good.
great. It's been a really fun week. I cannot believe that Halloween is less than a week away.
Yep.
This month has flown by, but it's been a good one. It's been a
It
lot of fun
has.
activities.
It has. It has been packed with all kinds of fun things, and
Yes.
which is just how I like it. That's how I like my
Me too.
October. Mm-hmm.
It's like the new year for me, I
Yeah,
swear. I
that's
always
how it
get
feels.
that like a burst of energy. It's just, you know how people get spring fever? I get like spooky fever or
Yes.
something. It's just the October, I just feel like I come alive
Mm-hmm.
in
It's
October.
it's wonderful. I just love it too. So I totally get it.
I know, and it's already the 26th, the day
Yeah,
that
we
we're
are
recording, and
recording on the 26th.
almost
Yes,
done. It's
I know
almost
it.
done.
I know.
Ah, oh well. That's all right.
Yes,
But
yes.
yeah,
We'll
but
make
it's
it
been
through.
fun. How
Yeah.
was your week? You got to talk about it?
Yes. I had an exciting weekend this weekend. So Hayden and I, we were road tripping it again. I I think this year we have gone somewhere on average about once a month,
That's awesome.
which has been amazing.
Yes.
We have really just had some fun adventures. I mean, sometimes it's with the kids, sometimes I've gone by myself, but usually once a month we're kind of doing something. And this past weekend has it's been awesome. Talk about a great way to kind of wrap up October. Last year I had gotten these ads on Facebook for this event. They call it the Jack-O-Lantern Spectacular, and it was in Louisville, Kentucky. And I am saying it like a Michigander. It
Yeah.
really is Louisville.
Louisville.
Yeah, Jamie, try it. You can say it.
Louisville.
Louisville. Yeah,
Louisville.
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 Louisville, Kentucky. You have to say it
Yes.
all together.
Yes.
Louisville. I was
Yep.
saying it Louisville earlier too,
I
though.
that's how I say it. Yes.
Yeah.
If you're not from the area, it's probably Louisville.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, so I kept seeing these ads for this thing, and it's just basically like a forest that is filled with these jack-o'-lanterns that are lit up, and you walk through, and it just looks gorgeous. I thought, you know what, I really want to try that. It came back around this year, and I found the website, and I got some tickets for us to go, and we made the trip down to Kentucky. And oh my gosh, I mean, it was beyond my expectations. I just can't describe. I'm going to post some pictures so you guys can see what it's like, but it is at the Iroquois Amphitheater in Louisville. And my gosh, it is 5,000 carved pumpkins.
That's amazing.
I mean, and this is like artistry because not only do you have like your classic looking carved pumpkins around that are all lit up, but there are true artists who did these amazing pumpkin carvings where each little section kind of had like a theme.
Oh, that's
So,
cool.
yeah, so and it had like songs playing, and it was all on theme. So they would have, like, for example, they had a section that was like doll themed. And so
Ooh.
yeah, so they were playing like Hello Dolly. And
Oh.
but they would have these pumpkins. They had one that was Chucky because he's a doll.
Oh yeah.
Someone did Raggedy Ann and Andy because they're dolls.
Ooh.
So they did all these like special carvings. They even did at the very end, they had like a in memoriam section. So they had like an Ozzy Osbourne carved
Oh
pumpkin.
wow.
Unbelievable. Who else? Who just passed away from Kiss?
Oh
Ace
yeah.
from Kiss. They did one of those. I mean, it was just amazing. They had a superhero section where they were playing the Batman theme, and they had this
That's so
Batman carved
cool.
pumpkin. I mean, it was just incredible. So it, I cannot recommend this enough. Even like if you're, I'm sure if you're from that area, you are familiar with it. But I'm telling you, it is completely worth the trip. I'm gonna, in the show notes, I'm gonna put their website for the information. You have to get tickets in advance. It will be functioning and open the weekend of Halloween. So the 31st and then November 1st, it will be open. But my guess is it's gonna be sold out. It was when we were the line was insane. And even though we had tickets, we stood in line still for an hour to get in. I
Yeah.
wasn't sure we were even going to make it in, like trying to get into the parking lot and everything. But I have been telling people if you come with your patience, just be patient. It is completely worth every minute you're waiting. It's just incredible. But I want to leave the info because even if you can't make it there next weekend, make a plan to go next year. It is
I really want to go. Your pictures
amazing,
looked amazing.
just beautiful. And yeah, I mean it wasn't I think it was like $25 to get
Oh,
in.
that's not bad at
It wasn't
all.
bad at all. And we spoke with somebody who was kind of helping the line move, and they had said um that the night before there was like 5,000 people, almost 5,000 people that
Wow.
were there. So
One
it is
person per pumpkin.
right. Everybody to a pumpkin.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that is
Yes.
so cool. I've been to something similar to that. I don't think it was quite as big, but I don't know. It's been years and years ago, probably maybe 20 years ago
Okay.
in Salem, Massachusetts. And it was an outdoor thing though. So you walked down a path,
Hmm.
but it was just like everywhere. The whole path was nonstop jack-o'-lanterns and they were
Amazing.
beautiful, like
Yes.
really, a lot of artistry.
Yeah.
It was very cool.
The
And
talent. I,
yeah,
I, yeah, I can hardly carve, a regular pumpkin, right? And do like googly eyes and a toothy smile. So when you see what they can do,
I know.
it is just amazing. But yeah, we made a weekend of it actually. So during the day, we went to the Louisville Slugger Museum where they make the baseball bats.
That's so cool too.
Learned a lot about that, and they have the museum and the factory. So where you are in Louisville, this is where they make the bats. And so when we were walking through, there were employees there, and everyone was working, and you just kind of walk through it. But that was just so cool, and Hayden had such a great time. And they had a section where you could actually go and hold a bat that belonged to they literally had a baseball player representing every team in the MLB. So you could hold like Ken Griffey Jr., who Derek Jeter. They even had like Babe Ruth's bat.
Wow.
Yes, and you can choose and you can actually kind of pose and get a picture with a bat. And they're super careful. They have handlers
Oh,
who
I'm
wear
sure.
gloves
Yeah.
for these
Right.
bats. You can't touch it up above. You have to really like hold it down below. And Hayden ended up going since we are Tigers fans.
Mm,
He went with Alan Trammell. They had Alan Trammell from
awesome.
that.
That's
So
really
that was
great.
cool. Yes. Very, very cool. And we met, there was a guy in front of us who had come by himself and he had asked, he was like, would you take a picture of me? And I said, sure. So I asked him, I said, well, what bat are you going to choose? And he said, well, I'm going to go with Alan Trammell. And I said, oh,
Oh,
great.
nice.
And I realized he was wearing a Tigers hat. So immediately I was
Oh,
like, oh, I said, you are from Michigan? And he was like, no, I'm from Windsor. So Canada.
oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. We love
We
Canada.
love you,
We
Canada.
haven't given
Yep.
Canada a shout out in a
Yeah.
while.
We haven't. We haven't. So thank you, Canada. Shout out to
Yes.
Windsor. But it was funny because he said, I think he was like, normally I'm a Tigers fan. He goes, but right now, I'm a Blue Jays fan.
Oh,
So I was
yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
I get that completely. So yeah.
Yep. For sure.
But
That sounds like such a fun trip.
it was awesome. Highly recommend. And there's so much to do in Louisville too. I mean, there's the Churchill Downs. We didn't even
Oh, yeah.
I would
True.
like to go back and check that out. So, so much. Bourbon is
Oh,
everywhere.
yeah.
They have
Yeah.
great bourbon.
Right.
Tasting tours. I thought, oh man,
Oh
on a
man.
non-Hayden trip, that would be
Yes.
a ton of fun.
That does sound amazing.
Yeah.
And Kentucky's a really beautiful state
Oh
too.
my
You
gosh,
know,
it
it
is. Right now, the
produces so much.
colors are out, and yeah,
Yep.
it was a beautiful, it was a really nice trip. So, yeah, it was a great way to kind of bring fall,
Yeah.
enjoy like this before Halloween's over.
I
And
know. I love it. I just
yeah.
love it. It's
And then
awesome.
Jamie had a big week too.
I did. I was thinking you were talking about how you've done like at least one trip a month. I've just crammed them all into October.
All right.
I was like,
Yes.
okay, I was like in Michigan, then I was in Arkansas for several days, and
Yes.
then yeah, and actually I went back to Arkansas this past. Uh, we left on Wednesday, so it was in the middle of the week trip, which was nice. But we went to Petit Mountain.
Okay.
And that is just outside of Morrilton, Arkansas.
Okay.
And when you were talking about Louisville, it made me laugh because there's a town you go through on the way to Petit Jean, and it's actually called Dardanelle,
Okay.
Arkansas. But
Hmm.
we don't say that in Arkansas. We say Dardanelle,
Yeah.
Dardanelle, Dardanelle. And so you would think it was just two syllables, but actually
Yes.
it's not. But if you were to say Dardanelle,
Yeah.
everybody would know you're not
Yes.
local. It's Darnell, Darnell. It's so funny.
That's great.
But yeah, so we went to Petit Jean and it was beautiful.
Mhm.
I rolled up about 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay.
We had a VRBO
Yeah.
rental, so it was a cabin. It was an A-frame,
Mm.
and the view it had these massive glass windows that were triangular, like shaped all the way, like half of the wall was window.
Yeah.
And you look out and you can just see it's just a mountain view, just valleys and
Amazing.
mountains. Oh, it was just so beautiful.
Yeah.
So gorgeous. And some of the trees, they actually, even just in 2 days, I could tell a difference. Like some more colors were starting to
Okay.
pop. And
Yep.
it's just such a beautiful time to go. And that whole area
Mhm.
is just gorgeous.
Sure.
But we did a hike. We did a waterfall hike the first day.
Oh, yes.
They've been kind of getting a little bit of a drought, so it
Okay.
wasn't, I've seen it raging in the past,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
years ago, and this time it was just a little bit of a trickle, but still beautiful.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I burned a lot of calories. I think, oh my gosh, it was, yeah. So
That's
that was
great.
about, I think it took us about 3 hours to do
Okay.
that first hike that first day. And then we got up early, about 10 o'clock, headed out and did another trail called Seven Hollows, which
Hmm.
was really cool. There was a bear cave
Ooh.
and a grotto and a natural
Cool.
bridge and
Oh, wow.
oh gosh, it was just so beautiful. And the weather was perfect.
Yeah.
It was sunny but cool, and then we had that fall cool breeze. And
Yep.
I went with my friend Laura, and she's an Arkansan, so we met there.
Great.
Did another short hike on the last day. It rained a little bit, but it
Hmm.
it was kind of cool because I visited. My topic today for the podcast is the ghost of Petit Jean Mountain.
Okay.
And on the last day, I got to see the grave of Petit Jean, and we're going to talk about the history
Mhm.
of both the mountain and Petit Jean herself,
Okay.
and also the ghostly encounters that have been
Nice.
reported on the mountain.
That
So,
sounds amazing. But you want to
yeah.
know what I am more afraid of than that ghost is the fact I saw a post in which snakes were involved
Oh,
in your
yes.
hike.
I was thinking, and it was
Yeah.
so weird because we literally, I mean, it had only been maybe a minute out of my mouth. I said, it's really weird. I don't think I've seen one snake this year. And I was leading, and I literally almost stepped on that snake. As
Oh
soon
boy.
as the words came out of my mouth, there it was. But it was a green, like grass snake,
Mhm.
but it didn't want to leave. It was like, this is my path. It was like stretched out across the path.
Yeah.
And so Laura's like, I didn't want to step over it because it was doing
No.
this little,
Yeah.
little head thing,
Oh, no.
like And I was like, okay, it doesn't like us, but he got a stick and just kind of like poked its tail a little bit and kind of
Okay.
moved it along, and
Yeah.
it went straight from there into a tree, a little bush,
Oh, okay.
and it was the exact same color of
Oh
that
my
snake.
God.
And you would not have been able to see it if you were just walking by. And so then from then on the path, I was like looking in all
Yeah.
the trees to see if there were
Yeah.
any snakes blending in because, yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, snake. There was a snake. It was my first snake to see this
Mhm.
year, and it was like right in front of my foot.
Yeah.
Ah,
I can't I can't handle snakes. I can't.
no.
It is my that's it. That's my fear.
Yeah,
That's
snakes
my
and
fear.
spiders. Ugh.
See, it's weird. I don't have a spider phobia. I don't
Oh,
have a problem with spiders. I usually scoop spiders and I usually put them
oh,
outside. They don't
you're
bother me.
brave.
Yes. Most of the time, like, and I try to hurry, like in the house, I try to get to it before someone else can because usually, like,
Don't want to stomp on 'em. Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, duh, I'm like, I'll get it, I'll get it, I'll get it,
Yeah.
I'll
I
get
think
it.
they're fascinating. I
Yeah,
will
they are.
photograph them and video
Sure.
them.
Yes, you have. Yes.
I think they're so fascinating to watch.
Hmm.
But if there's one in the car with me, like, uh-uh. We might be wreck. I don't. There might be a wreck
You're right.
involved. I can't. I just. It's really. I just don't want them on me.
Yeah, no, that's,
I want to watch them and look at
yeah,
them. They're beautiful. Really, they're beautiful creatures.
yes.
But
Yes, but I
yeah.
get it. Like I don't necessarily want them, on me or anything like that. But when it comes to snakes, like I almost get to the point like I almost get like woozy thinking about them. I
Oh,
almost feel like I'm
yeah.
gonna pass out. And if I
Oh,
see one, then it's
yeah.
worse. So, quick story about snakes, and then I'm so sorry, but
Oh no,
I
that's
remembered
okay.
this because we had gone to a fall festival here in town a couple weeks back, and we were walking just along. They had like vendors and crafts and all kinds of things. It's great. And we're walking along, and I can hear a man behind me talking to his significant other, and I can hear like what sounds like a stroller being pushed. And then I hear him say, "Oh my gosh, he's been sleeping this whole time. I can't believe it." Just carrying on, assuming they're talking about the baby that's in the stroller
Right.
that they're pushing. They kind of go around and start to pass us. This man had a snake
What?
wrapped around his neck, and
Ah,
he was referring to the snake. And I think at one point they put that snake in a stroller.
no.
There's no baby. There was no baby. There was no
Ah,
baby. They were literally talking about this snake, and he
I'm
walked
sorry.
around, and I was like,
Nope.
"Get it out of my face!"
Yeah, no, I cannot
Cannot.
imagine. Nope. I saw a guy walk into a store here in Oklahoma with a snake wrapped around his neck. His
The
neck.
hell?
He just walked in, bought a pop and paid for it with a snake around his neck. And I'm like, what? No, no,
No,
no.
sir, that thing wants to eat you. It's going to
Yes.
eat you when you're not looking.
Yeah.
It's
And
one of those like thick snakes.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know what they're all
A
called.
boa
Yeah,
or
yeah. I
some
don't
kind of
even care. I don't even
constrictor.
care.
They call them constrictors because they choke you out. It's like, not okay with it.
They want to kill you and they want you in their stomach.
Yes.
I once had somebody I knew who had a pet snake, and at the time, I didn't have a lot of knowledge about snakes, but he talked about how much he loved his snake, and sometimes his snake would just sleep with him and lay out next to him. And later I learned that, yes, like, boas and things like that, they lay and they stretch out because they're sizing you up. They
Yes.
want to see if it can fit you in its stomach.
Yeah.
So this guy thinks the snake is so sweet. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, that now knowing that thing was sizing you up, it wants to eat you. It doesn't love
Yes.
you. It can't.
Right.
It doesn't have capacity for love. They don't have
No.
hearts.
No. No, they're not
That's it.
cuddly. You can't cuddle a snake. I mean, I guess people try, but no. No thanks.
I can't. And so the
Yeah.
fact these people were pushing a snake around in a stroller.
That's
I
crazy.
nope, I've seen it all, everybody. I've seen it all now. Talking
That's
about it like
wild.
a baby. Oh,
Yeah.
he's just been sleeping this whole time.
That's so crazy. And can you imagine, like, you know how you kind of peek into strollers when you see a baby, you're like,
Could
oh, look at
you?
that cute baby. Can you imagine peeking in there and seeing a snake?
No, I would.
I would
No,
scream. I
yeah,
would
you expect
scream.
a cute little face, and
Yeah.
instead that
It
thing's
is.
looking at you.
Yeah. No thanks.
I apologize to any listeners who have a pet snake or love their snakes or
Yeah. I'm
are like,
sorry.
oh, snakes. I
Yeah.
can't.
And I
Mm-mm.
actually have a friend that has pet snake, at least one,
Mm,
and they're they love it and it's a good snake, I'm sure, but it's just not for me.
no,
That's just not for me.
not for me whatsoever. I
No.
cannot. I can't. So, yeah, all I said when Jamie posted pictures of this snake that was in her path, I was like, God bless you, because I
Oh,
would have just
I
passed out.
screamed.
Yeah,
I screamed for
I
sure.
have
Yeah.
no doubt. So yeah. So that's my that was my snake talk for this.
But yeah, so we saw the snake. Laura was brave, moved it along, and
Good
then
for
it went
her.
in the freaking tree. So yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
like it. I don't like that they're hiding. They could jump out and try to kill
I
you at any
know.
moment.
Yes. And
That's
I've
why
gone on
I
canoe trips and like kayaking down like the Buffalo River
yeah,
and some of those smaller, primitive rivers and
yeah.
seeing snakes hanging from the trees. And no,
I
I can't.
hate that. I hate it. I hate it so
Yeah,
much.
me too.
It's
Me
so
too.
funny because we talk about these things,
I
like
know.
most people are mortified of, the ghosts and things, and I would deal with a ghost
Oh,
any day of the week
for
over
sure.
some snake
Yeah.
hanging out of a bush or tree or in my
Uh-uh.
path or in a stroller.
It's
Get
a
out of here.
nightmare. That's a
It is
nightmare.
a nightmare.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh, don't like that.
No. Ah, but
Okay.
other
That was
than the
our
snake,
rant about snakes.
yeah, other than that, it was just beautiful. It was
Yeah.
great.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm so glad.
Um, yeah, so imagine, you're in this beautiful place, on the edge of a sandstone bluff. There's a lot of sandstone in
Okay.
Arkansas. You're up there, the river, you can see the Arkansas River winding
Oh,
around. There's just
man.
so many beautiful overlooks. But I will say that you're standing there and you still get this unsettling feeling, even though you're surrounded with all this beauty. And many people have reported that same thing on Petit
Okay.
Jean Mountain.
Hmm.
So today we're going to talk about the story of Petit Jean.
Okay.
So this is kind of a love story, a little bit, a disguise story, some heartbreak, some mystery. It's a little bit of everything.
Okay.
So it's the ghost of a young woman
Hmm.
who is said to still walk the cliffs in Petit Jean. She passed there and so that's where she spent her final days.
Okay.
But anytime you start any story with love, disguise, and heartbreak, it's headed straight for a ghost story because that's where they start.
Yes.
So let's talk about the legend. So the story begins in the early 1700s in Paris,
Okay.
France. There is a
Okay.
Paris, Arkansas, but this is Paris, France. A young French nobleman was preparing to join an expedition to the New World. So he would sail across the Atlantic to explore the Arkansas River Valley.
Mm.
So this was a dangerous journey. I mean, it was, of course, all the sea stuff. There was storms and sickness and all
Oh,
kinds
sure.
of challenges. Very long journey. But he had a fiance, and she was waiting behind in Paris. Her name was Adrienne Dumont. She was a young woman, and she was in love, and she didn't want her fiance to leave her. She begged to come, but the voyage was forbidden to women,
Mm.
especially of her standing. So she was kind of a noble standing.
Okay.
he promised he'd return, but she was determined not to be left behind. So, guess what she did? She basically pulls a full-on Mulan here. She disguised herself as a cabin boy. She
Okay.
cut her off all her hair,
Wow.
dressed up as a man, and changed or took on the name of Petit Jean, which means Little John in French.
Okay.
So Petite Jean,
Yep. Hmm.
And so under this identity, she boarded the ship and she just started working, just like
Okay.
the men. They journeyed across the Atlantic. It was horrible. It was grueling. There were storms. I mean, the endless work. They barely had enough food to survive. But Petty Jean endured it all, and she did it for love. Even her own fiance did not recognize her, so she had a pretty good disguise going on there.
Wow.
When the expedition reached what is now Arkansas,
Hmm.
they were welcomed by the Quapaw Indian tribe.
Okay.
They helped them, like, learn about the land, and they were very welcoming to these French explorers. They camped near a mountain that rose high above the Arkansas River, and this became known today as Petit Jean Mountain.
Okay.
Um, but Petty Jean was still in disguise. She explored the wilderness with the men. She befriended many of the Quapaw tribe members
Okay.
and learned a lot from them. She learned about the land, and she just fell in love
Hmm.
with the area. It's just so beautiful. But unfortunately, tragedy was waiting. Petty Jean fell gravely ill.
Mm.
The exact nature of her illness has was unclear. She just
Mm.
became super sick.
Okay.
One source implies that she contracted swamp fever
Oh boy.
while she was nursing her lover, so her fiance,
Mhm.
back to health from that disease. But then she had other symptoms too that were like fever, convulsions, delirium, and
Mm.
then she finally slipped into a coma.
Jeez.
Um, but uh, so it was quote strange to it was strange to Chavette. I guess that was one of the sailors. His
Okay.
name was Chavette and his sailors. Her condition worsened, and on her deathbed, she revealed her true identity.
Mm.
So they didn't know until she was on her deathbed that
Mm.
she was actually Adrian.
Wow.
So imagine the shock. The loyal cabin boy who had been working along with all the men was actually the nobleman's fiance.
Mm.
So, with her final breath, she asked to be buried on the mountain because she had come to love the area. So, they carried her body to the summit, what they call the summit, and she was laid to rest among the mound of stones that are overlooking the valley.
Okay.
And I got to see the grave. I've seen it before years ago, but
Okay.
it is literally like on the top, the summit of the mountain,
Wow.
is her grave, is Petty
Okay.
Jean's grave. And it is you get a eerie feeling when you're there.
Ew. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And I went to see it on the last day and it was rainy and there was fog everywhere. And so it just added to the
Oh,
creepiness.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's a pretty heartbreaking story, really.
Yeah.
Kind of like the ultimate devotion story where she,
Right.
yeah. Um, but I think it would make a pretty cool period drama.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why haven't we heard more about her?
I know. It's
Hmm.
a pretty cool story. I would watch it.
Yep.
But for locals, it's more than just a love story. It's actually become quite the legend in the area. The
Sure.
mountain itself became, Petty Jean, named after her. And some say she never left it.
Hmm.
So before we get into the ghosty stuff, some of the history of Petty Jean Mountain. Um, it's kind of worth knowing that I mean, it's got a lot of deep cultural layers. It's beautiful. It sits near Morrilton, Arkansas.
Okay.
Overlooks the Arkansas River Valley.
Mm,
So this was long before the French explorers, the Quapaw Indians
hmm.
tribe called this land home for, forever. There's petroglyphs up there, which I
Oh
did
my
not get to see
gosh.
them, but I love petroglyphs. I find them
Yes.
so fascinating. There's a lot of archaeological finds on the mountain that point to, the Native Americans that lived
Okay.
there. They hunted, they held ceremonies there, so it's got some really rich culture.
Mm.
In the 1920s, the land was preserved as Arkansas's very first state park.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, that's
That's
pretty cool.
amazing.
Yeah. So it was founded in 1923. A man named Dr. T.W. Hardison fought to protect it, making sure it's bluffs, caves, waterfalls. I mean, it has everything. Bluffs, caves, waterfalls,
Mm.
forests. I mean, it's just beautiful. The Civilian Conservation Corps built the iconic Mather Lodge, which is just this huge, it's just a lodge. It's just this
Fun.
massive, it's like a hotel now.
Oh,
It's got a
cool.
really nice restaurant, and
Hmm.
I'll post pictures of all of this, but then it overlooks like this just beautiful river valley
Oh,
with just like
wow.
the mountains in the background, and then it dips way down, and you can see
Hmm.
the river, and it's just breathtaking.
Oh my
A
gosh.
lot of rock formations and
Okay.
stuff too it's just so breathtaking.
Hmm.
So the Mather Lodge was built in the 1930s, and it's still there and open
Wow.
today. At the summit, of course, is Petit Jean's grave. It's just simple. It's just a stone mound, but it has a fenced iron railing around it. It's almost like coffin shaped, which is kind
Okay.
of weird.
Interesting.
Yeah. But it's one of the most visited grave sites in Arkansas.
Hmm.
People go not only for the view, but to also pay their respects and kind of, stand where love and loss, became eternal, I guess.
Hmm.
So the park itself is like this blend of history, conservation, and then also the legend of Petit Jean.
Hmm.
That only kind of makes the ghost stories stronger because you're standing on land where there were so many lives that intersected.
Right.
So that kind of brings us to the hauntings. So
Okay.
there's been many ghostly reports. There are several recurring stories about strange happenings on Petit Jean Mountain. There's the grave lights. So for decades, people have reported strange glowing orbs near her grave.
Oh,
They
interesting.
zigzag among the cliffs, sometimes hovering, sometimes darting in between trees.
Okay.
Skeptics say it could be headlights from the valley reflecting upward, or
Hmm.
guess what else?
Oh my gosh. Swamp gas?
Swamp gas, natural gases.
That's taking us back a little,
Yes, it
right?
is. But believers, swear it's spiritual energy, the restless spirit of Petty Jean. To me, this sounded a lot like Dover Lights, which
Yes.
is not super far away from there. It's not,
Wow.
I'd say it's about less than an hour away
Okay.
from Petit Jean Mountain.
Okay, that's
So,
close.
yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so orbs, lights, darting, doing all the same things as the Dover lights almost.
Yes.
Many people have also seen the woman in white.
Mm.
Drivers at night tell of phantom figures on the winding mountain roads. I would freak
Yeah.
out because you're winding, and these are like super curvy, windy roads. You're
Mm-hmm.
around the corner, and why are these ghostly women always wearing white,
Yeah, they do.
like white gowns just to make it freakier?
I think you get one. Like when you check out,
Yeah,
they hand you they give you something to wear, and that's just the
yeah,
thing. They're like, here's your job now. You have to haunt this place, and you're going to do it in a white gown. That's just how
that's
it
right.
goes. Yeah, that's just the rules.
Yeah. And some people, they get assigned certain other period dress,
Yes, for sure.
But yeah, there's, the white women, the white dress women.
Hmm.
That's who we've got.
Yes, yes.
Betty Jean.
Hmm.
Yeah. So she appears suddenly in headlights. So a pale figure in period clothing, all in white, and just as quickly as they see her, she vanishes.
Wow. Okay.
Some drivers even report a sudden pungent odor of rotting meat just before or after they see the apparition.
Oh boy.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's not
like
the smell I want
no, pungent
when
meat.
when I'm dead.
Yeah, it's really weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, but the funny thing is there's a brand of meat like like lunch meat, and
Okay.
it's Petit Jean lunch meat. So
Stop.
yeah, it's really famous in Arkansas. Petit Jean. It's really good lunch meat, but just don't let it rot. It'll
Oh
haunt
boy.
you.
Right.
They're really good, like mesquite turkey. But yeah, so
Oh
Petit.
my gosh.
Yeah, but anyway, rotting meat.
Okay.
Uh, so I mean, the ghostly figure is creepy enough, but adding the smell of roadkill, that's
Sure.
like next level movie, horror movie stuff.
Yes. Yes.
But it's unsettling for sure.
Yeah.
Smell is one of the most common sensory details in a lot of paranormal cases.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's perfume, sometimes it's like cigar smoke or sulfur.
Yeah.
Or just the smell of rotten decay, so why not pungent meat? Petty Jean seems to announce herself with all the senses. So,
Yes, for sure, right?
like, I'm here. See and smell me. So there's been some activity at the lodge itself, the Mather
Oh,
Lodge.
okay.
Staff and guests whisper about strange encounters there. Doors will swing open when no one's around. Shadows flicker in empty halls.
Mhm.
One staff member gave us perhaps the clearest firsthand story, which I'll share shortly. When I was there, I did, especially around the grave, and I really didn't know. I was just kind of exploring that area. There's some other things on the summit to explore, and I really didn't know that the grave was there, but I did feel that like it's a little oppressive, just heavy,
Sure,
just a heavy feeling in the
sure.
air. But that is, one of the big reports
Okay.
around the grave. But other than that, I did in the cabin itself, I was trying to post my pictures onto
Hmm.
the socials for the day, and I kept seeing something out of the corner of my eye. And
Hmm.
at first I was just like, oh, it's probably a shadow, but there's nothing around. There's
Okay.
nothing else around. You don't see anything else. And that first night there are two, no, there's three cabins, but they're kind of spread out. There was nobody else on that
Wow.
lot except for
Wow.
us.
Okay.
So both of the other cabins were empty. Didn't hear anything, but I kept seeing something out of the corner of my eye, and it was kind of driving me nuts. And it started to freak me out after like two or three times
Sure.
I was seeing it, and it was more like a shadowy thing.
Okay.
I didn't get a clear look at it because I mean I just had like lamplight, and phone light.
Hmm.
But I got out my spirit box. I'm like, well, let's just see, if I can
Sure.
capture anything. But my batteries were dead, so
No.
yeah, I'm a terrible investigator. So didn't get anything. But that was the only thing that happened to me while I was there.
Okay.
I didn't see the woman in white. I didn't smell any pungent meat.
Okay.
So
That's good. That's
yeah.
good.
But there was an eyewitness account. This came from Teresa Bertram in 2009, so fairly recently.
Okay.
Teresa Bertram, a waitress at Mather Lodge, was working on a rainy evening shift. She was looking down at a cookbook in the kitchen of Mather Lodge when she saw a man in a long, dark raincoat stride past her.
Mm.
He pushed through the swinging kitchen door. But on the other side of that door were her co-workers, and they saw the door swing open, but no one entered.
Whoa.
So she saw the man in the raincoat, but on the other side of the door, they saw the door open, but they
Yeah.
did not see the man in the raincoat.
Ooh.
I
Ooh,
know. That's creepy.
that is.
So maybe that was Petty Jean in disguise. So she,
Right.
under that, she had her white gown on, but it, I don't
Yeah,
know.
because I mean, if she went into disguise alive,
Yeah.
maybe she's
Yeah.
going into disguise mode even
Yeah.
in the afterlife.
Maybe. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
why not?
But anyway, they saw a raincoat, a
Wow.
guy in a raincoat.
Hmm.
So Teresa knew what she saw, and later she told her boss, and he said that he had actually seen a woman in the storage hall before. So her
Okay.
boss didn't think she was crazy. He said,
Mhm.
"Yep, I've seen stuff too." Teresa wrote about the experience, saying, "I saw this man in a dark rain trench coat opening the swinging door of the kitchen. The staff said they didn't see a man, they just saw the door swing open and nobody entering."
Hmm.
So I like this because it's not just, my cousin's neighbor said, this was like actually someone that worked there, an actual staff member. She was willing to put her name on the story, and I feel like that's pretty powerful.
Right, I agree.
So it anchors the legend kind of
Sure.
with real modern accounts.
Yes.
There's been several variations of the legend. It gets a little more interesting. There are actually nine different versions of Petty Jean's legend.
Wow.
In some, she's a faithful lover, forever watching the river. So that's what her ghost is. She's just there, watching the river.
Hmm.
In others, she's the spirit. It's more of a revengeful spirit.
Okay.
She was, betrayed by the man she followed there.
Hmm.
Some say she walks in sorrow. Others say she's endlessly searching for her fiance.
Okay.
So, I mean, she came all that way.
Right.
So,
Right.
that may explain why people report different phenomena. Sometimes phenomena. Sometimes she's gentle. Sometimes she's terrifying.
Hmm.
So basically, she's Arkansas's version of La Lorna.
Okay. All right. Yes.
Her mood depends on who's telling the story.
Right.
So we have some questions here. We can get some reflection going on.
Okay.
So is the ghost of Petty Jean real, or is she a story we see because we expect to?
Hmm.
That's something to think about. When you
Yes.
know the legend, every flicker of light could be an orb, every shadow could be a phantom.
Right.
Maybe it's both. Maybe the story is what makes the ghost because people keep retelling it,
Sure.
feeding that energy.
Absolutely.
But that's the beauty. I mean, it could be a little bit folklore, it could be a little bit true. We've talked about this in the past that it only takes one of these stories, to make
Right.
it legitimate. But Petty Jean I thought was so interesting because it's both history, myth, fact, some it's very imaginative, and so maybe the truth lies somewhere in
Yeah.
between. You know?
Absolutely.
So the next time, I hope you get to check it out
I would love
sometime.
to. Sounds
But
amazing.
if you're driving up Petit Jean Mountain, stop at the grave for sure.
Hmm.
Staying at the overlook where the Arkansas River, like it stretches, you would see it. It just like winds through the horizon.
Hmm.
It's beautiful.
That's
It's just so
amazing.
pretty. And if you see flicker of light or a woman in white, remember you might be standing in the presence of a woman that crossed an ocean
Yeah.
to be with her fiance. She defied society. She disguised herself for love, and then she never really truly left the mountain.
Hmm.
Claimed it as her own. But if you smell something foul, like rotting meat,
All right.
drive a little faster.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the legend of Petty Jean.
Wow. Like,
Yeah,
so I was very excited about the story because this is all new to me. This is
yeah,
a completely new story. One of the things that I think about is it possible, are there more than one spirit that could
right.
be there? Like maybe she is one way, but maybe there's something else that, I mean, maybe the spirit of the man coming through the restaurant and coming through the doors, maybe it is a man, maybe it's, someone completely different. I'm just wondering too, like, did multiple people pass away? at the t same time she did, maybe a lot of the spirits from that crew could all still
That's
be
true.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it sounded like there was some sickness, going
right.
around. Um, so I think her fiance was sick. He didn't die at the time she
Okay.
did.
All right.
But I mean, there was a lot of sickness in that, and they had just voyaged, for so long.
Oh, I can't even
The
imagine.
diseases, so
Yeah, you're
I'm
cooped
sure
up
there was
in
a
some
lot of
boat.
sickness.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's amazing. I was even told our house in Lamar. Sorry, I got a frog in my
Oh,
throat.
yeah.
Um, there was only like a handful of French trappers in that area,
Okay.
so it kind of goes along with this story as well.
Sure.
It was the French were exploring Arkansas at that time.
Yes.
And so I think it's just the history is so cool because really wasn't much. I mean, just the Quapaws were there, and
Yes.
then just like a handful of French adventurers and French trappers in the area. So
Amazing.
it's pretty amazing.
Right.
So who knows? I mean, and that there's been so many stories like the Dover Lights are in
Hmm.
not too far away.
Right.
Got the ghost of Petit Jean. Not too far from Petit Jean, there's also a legend of there's a cemetery. It's called the London Cemetery.
Okay.
And there's supposed to be a woman in white that many people have seen, and it's kind of that hitchhiker story where they
Mm-hmm.
pick her up and then they look back and she's not there,
Yes. Yes.
but that's very legendary in that area as well.
Okay. Yep.
It's a very active paranormal. Uh, it's a good place to investigate
Yes.
all around that area. The River Valley is super active.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, I can't, it is hard for me to not think this stuff is related. I mean,
I
what are the
know.
chances
Yeah.
and not being so far from one another? Ah, it kills me because
Yep.
I mean, I remember back to when we did the story about the Dover Lights, and I just,
Right.
what is it? What is it? What could it be?
I
I want to know
know.
so bad, and part of me feels like there's got to be some, maybe, well, like, why not? Why can't there be some type of connection, with the type of sightings that are being seen in both locations?
Exactly. Yep.
So, yeah, that is so interesting to me.
It is to me too. And, some similar stories too, like the London cemetery, the woman in white, and then Petty Jean, the woman in white, and then the
Hmm.
orbs by
The
her
orbs.
grave, and then the
Yes,
orbs on Dover Lights, which is not far. I mean, as the crow flies, it's even closer,
yes,
So,
yes,
yeah. So a lot going on, a lot of history, a lot of rich history, and also a lot of woods and a lot of mysteries in those woods. Like
yes,
there's a Garden Light and all kinds of
yes.
things around Arkansas that we haven't even talked about yet.
That's
So,
right. That's
you
right.
know, my
So,
old stomping grounds. Back.
yes. Yeah, that is a fascinating story to me, and the romantic in me wants to believe
I
that,
know.
it's her and she's there and she loves the area and
Yeah,
maybe she's looking for her, fiance and
I
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I just think it's fascinating that she tricked that many people for
I know.
so long.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And she was like
amazing.
working along with the men, like
Yeah.
doing all the like, duties on the ship
Yeah.
and
Good for
yeah.
her.
And she was like this, noble woman
Hmm.
in Paris and she just like dug right in there and
Yes.
became a cabin boy that nobody even questioned. So,
That's amazing.
but I do find it odd that her fiance wouldn't recognize her. I
Right.
just think that's weird. Maybe she just stayed away from him.
It's
Did she
possible.
have like a mustache or,
Maybe.
a
Maybe.
mustache? I said it. Did you have a mustache? I don't know. It's very strange.
Yeah, I do wonder about that because really, I mean, it's just a haircut.
Yeah,
If my fella didn't recognize me if I just, cut my hair short, I'd be
right.
disappointed.
Yeah,
Would be
for
like,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I would too. I don't know. So, I mean, I guess there's some questions there, but that legend, I mean, it's a legend. It's
Yeah.
very well known around Arkansas, but I guess it hasn't, you'd never heard of the
No.
legend of Petit Jean, right? So,
Right, right.
yeah.
So good. I'm glad this is something that we're talking about to get that story out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very unique. That's great.
But I'll post some pictures. It's
Yeah.
a really fascinating area. The caves are so creepy. I
Yeah.
mean, some of them I got in there a little bit, but there was no way I was going in, deep into those
Sure,
caves. But I
sure.
did shine my light back and they really went back pretty far. And
Okay.
I mean, bears alone,
Yeah,
are
yeah.
something to worry about.
That's what I would worry about too, more
Yeah.
than the supernatural or
Yeah.
normal
Yeah.
is the real
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And my friend Laura, she had bear spray with her, so
That's a
she had
thing.
it on the ready. Anytime we were near like a cave or anything, she had it's like a giant can of mace.
What
But
is bear
yeah,
spray? I've never heard
yeah,
of this.
yeah, it's a thing. Bear spray.
You can
She had
make
it hanging
bear.
on her backpack. I'll show you pictures of that as well.
Oh,
But
nice.
yeah,
Yeah, I've never heard of that before.
yeah.
But
It's
we don't really
basically
have like
mace for bears, but it's like
interesting.
very high power. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, I don't have many bears around,
No.
so I don't need anything like that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Cool. I'm
Yeah.
learning so much.
Yeah. It's crazy. But it was so beautiful. There were all kinds of rock formations. There was a natural bridge, which
Mhm.
I'll share a
Great.
lot of the
Yeah,
pictures because it this is all the areas that Petty Jean was exploring with the
I love it.
Quapaws.
That's
So
great.
yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you. That was
Yeah, you're
such
welcome.
a cool story. I love a good, I mean, that is like a true ghost story. You know what I'm
Right.
thinking? That comes along with a like a legend and the folklore behind it. I love it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Too.
Awesome. Well, good.
It was a very good experience.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we are in our last week of horror movie sharing
Yes.
for spooky season. Jamie and I have discussed it. The problem is, I think we're gonna kind of miss doing this a little
Yes.
bit, right?
We are. We
Hmm.
could keep it going.
We
We'll
might just
see.
keep it going, just
Yeah,
because I beforehand we discussed like what do we pick? We were like last it's the last week out of all the films, like what do we pick? It's got to be a good one, right? We
I
have to, but
know.
it's hard because I feel like there's so many more I would love to talk about and share.
Me too.
Yeah. So,
I was driving today and I was like, I'm gonna try to just narrow it down to like my top 10
yeah.
in my, in my mind, just,
Yes.
for my own entertainment. And, like some of them are just, they were films that maybe they're not like theatrically they're not, maybe they're over the top in some way, different, but there were so many different films that like influenced me in some way that I
Same.
would consider, talking about. And I don't know, it was hard to narrow it down.
It is hard to narrow it down.
Yeah.
So maybe we won't have to. Maybe we'll just continue
Yeah,
doing this because I mean, really isn't any time is a good time for a good spooky movie.
I agree.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
agree.
As
I
we
mean,
head,
only hardcore like horror fans go. There's people that just watch scary movies in October.
right,
And so,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. So
But
this would
there's
be,
others all year round.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. So that's the thing. So okay. All right. Well, we'll discuss this. We'll
Talk
figure
about
out.
it.
We may just yeah, we might just continue on.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. All
Woo.
right.
Well, what do you have for a
Okay.
movie this
Well,
week?
this week I have decided to go with a film. I know I've brought it up. I can't remember what episode, but we talked about it briefly. It is a movie called The Blackcoat's Daughter.
Oh, yeah.
It is directed and written by Osgood Perkins. some of you may know Osgood Perkins if you are a fan of the movie Legally Blonde.
Oh yeah.
He was actually in Legally Blonde as David, kind of the awkward
Uh-huh.
law student. And he has come to direct some fantastic horror films other than The Black Coat's Daughter. He just did most recently the movie The Monkey,
Oh.
based off the Stephen King short story. He also this was one that was on my list to discuss, a movie called Long Legs.
Oh, that's right. Long
Oh my
legs.
gosh, Long Legs is so good. And another very atmospheric, like, oh, like beautifully scary movie called I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House.
Oh.
So Osgood Perkins is definitely, I think, on this list of, current horror, like director, amazing storyteller, right?
Yeah.
So The Black Coat's Daughter is no exception. This movie is so good. I think I found this on a list of movies somewhere deep. Someone was like, "You have to see this movie and take a chance," because I don't even really remember when it was released in the theater. It came out in 2015, and it was one of those like we didn't hear much about, but man, I watched it and it was hook, line, and sinker. This movie had me going. The whole thing, well, I should really say, honestly, the first part of the movie takes place in a Catholic, like boarding school for girls. Kind of focuses on a couple of girls there, Kat and Rose. They kind of get left behind at the school during the holiday, like winter break. They aren't going home, so they're staying there. And some of the nuns that work there are the ones who are kind of watching over them, but they really stay in this more like large dormitory area, and the nuns kind of live just on the grounds. So they're kind of left, and they're not friends. They come from, two different type of worlds, and here they are together, left alone during winter break. And it is,
Ooh.
yeah, right. I mean, it's like snowy outside. Just that feeling
Yeah.
is pretty crazy, but it is rumored that the nuns there are actually Satanists.
Oh.
Right. So these are things that the girls are kind of, hearing about. But I mean, it's like, what? They're nuns. That can't be possible, right? Um, And then meanwhile, kind of goes into another story, kind of goes back and forth a little bit, another kind of focusing on a she's a mental patient played by Emma Roberts, who has escaped the mental hospital. I mean, we know that. But she runs into a couple who is actually headed to the school, and she kind of jumps in and they give her a ride because they don't know, right? She
Oh.
describes this whole story, right? So they're headed towards the school, and these stories come together, and it is horrifying. It is like one of these like low key, like scare you. I, it is just so well done. I've decided movies like this, because I'm like, really? Because people ask me all the time, what is the scariest movie you've ever seen? What are some of the things that scare you? And I've decided, like, I really thought about some of the movies that I enjoy and that actually scare me. And there has got to be a theme to it. And I've decided it's really stories that take on kind of a demonic type
Mm.
theme.
Mm-hmm.
This is no exception to that. It does have that. And oh my gosh, just twists, turns, a shocking ending, things you did not see coming. And it's just incredible. The story is amazing. But I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking of movies like, recently I rewatched The Exorcism of Emily Rose,
Oh yeah.
kind
Ooh.
of almost advertised as a drama, but my goodness, there's so much more to it.
Right.
And it's
Yeah.
legitimately scary. I mean, obviously, you have The Exorcist. There's another movie that almost made my movie this week, an indie film called The Dark and the Wicked. And that movie scared me half to death. And I realized all these movies, what they have in common is just this like demonic element. And I think it's because, we talked about Nightmare on Elm Street, and there can be those things, but you get into slasher films and you can really kind of brush that stuff away. But for me, the element of something demonic, it's kind of like, depending on the religious factor, like what your beliefs, party was like, damn, like some of this could happen, right? We've told
Yeah. Oh,
stories
yeah.
where these things may have actually happened. So a story like this is just, it gets you sucked right in. It is, beautifully shot. Uh, there is some very scary imagery.
I'm sure.
Subtly, some of
Oof.
it is so subtle too. I mean, you
Mm.
look for the details in this, you don't see a lot of it coming. And so I highly recommend this spooky season. Check out The Black Coat's Daughter. Um, and really, I've now decided I am an Osgood Perkins fan. Longlegs is just like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I love that film too. So check it out. Yeah, rated R, by the way.
There, I was
Never here for
wondering.
it. Never here for
Or I
it. So yeah, so my pick.
haven't seen that one. So
Okay.
my list, I've got to make a list and
Okay.
just start knocking them out.
I'm
So,
excited to have you see some of the movies because I would love to hear your thoughts on it,
yeah.
obviously, as well as the listeners. I mean, if this is something you haven't checked out, watch it. Let us know what you think of our picks. Throw out some of the ones that you like. I mean, we would just really would love to hear, what you guys think of some of these.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Awesome.
All right.
Well, my movie this week came to mind because of the caves, the caves at
Yes.
Betty Jean. So
Yes.
my movie is The Descent.
Ah,
Um,
yes.
it's
Classic.
a 2005 uh, horror film that follows a group of six adventurous women. So it's an all-female cast.
Yes.
They reunite for a spelunking or cave diving
Yes.
trip in the Appalachian Mountains.
Ah,
Okay, so
Appalachians.
yeah,
Freaky unto themselves.
yes, they are. So, tragedy strikes one of the women. So, Sarah is the character name. That's Shauna McDonald. Her friends hope the dangerous excursion will help her heal.
Okay, yeah.
But when they enter the uncharted cave system, a rock collapse traps them inside.
Hmm.
So they get panicked. They realize they're not alone. The cave is inhabited by terrifying humanoid creatures called crawlers. Whew, but they're
Hmm.
blind, it's dark and they're
Hmm.
trapped in there. Their survival turns into a brutal fight against the creatures and the group's own unraveling sanity.
Right,
So,
of course.
woo, so it's got that claustrophobic thing that always disturbs me so much. It
Yes.
is also rated R.
Yes.
It's known for being especially intense and claustrophobic.
Mhm.
The director is Neil Marshall. He's a
Oh,
British
yeah.
director.
Yes.
He's known for Dog Soldiers, Centurion, and several episodes of Game of Thrones, including Blackwater and
Nice.
Watchers on the Wall.
Wow. So,
Yeah.
doing the best ones, right?
Yes. None of the actors were super well known. Shauna McDonald was Sarah, Natalie Mendoza as Juno, Alex Reed was Beth, uh, Saskia Mulder, Rebecca, Mayanna Burring, Sam, and Nora Jane Noon was
Okay.
Holly. So these were all
Yeah.
kind of little known. There were actually two endings to this film, and I've heard that the UK version is the way to go. Like to do
Okay.
not even bother watching. So, and I did see the UK version. I have not seen the US
Okay,
version.
yeah. Okay.
So, but if you've only watched the US version, go watch it again and make sure you see the UK ending. It's
Love it.
darker. Uh, I'm not gonna spoil it or anything, but it's definitely darker
Okay, yeah.
than the US. The US kind of trims it to where it's a little less disturbing.
Okay.
But the UK version is the way to go.
We want the disturbing.
Yes.
Bring it on.
The crawlers were actually designed to look like a possible offshoot of humanity. They're very creepy,
Hmm.
so kind of cave adapted. They're blind. They only hunt by sound, so they're almost like bats and humans, you know. The actors that portrayed them actually wore full body prosthetics and contact lenses.
Oh my
So
gosh, yeah.
that's a commitment,
It
you
is a
know?
commitment. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Contacts. I've heard wearing them can
Yeah.
be quite painful. Like the
Yeah.
ones that have like full eye color change.
Yeah. I mean, that alone is so claustrophobic to me. I just can't imagine. I don't like having like Halloween makeup on for too long. I start to just, I just can't
Right.
imagine having prosthetics on.
Right.
I was thinking about the actor that played the corpse in the autopsy of Jane Doe.
Yes.
I can't imagine that being my role
Right.
either.
Yeah.
Just having to be a dead person
Right.
the whole time.
For that, yeah, for
Be
all that
rough.
time. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. That'd be tough.
Yeah. Whew. So it was set in the Appalachian caves, but the
Mm,
movie was actually filmed on sets in
okay.
Pinewood Studios in the UK.
Okay.
So they were deliberately made tight and disorienting to make the cast have that authentic claustrophobic feel.
Okay.
So, well, that was kind of cool. The actresses were not shown the creatures ahead of time, so their reactions on screen were their actual genuine shock of what these
I
creatures
can
look like.
only imagine.
Yeah.
That was very smart. That was very,
Yeah.
hmm
But it's considered one of the best horror films of the 2000s. Definitely a benchmark in claustrophobic horror. So,
it
yeah,
really was.
so
Yeah.
check it out. I think it's streaming on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's where you can
Yeah,
find
my
it.
apologies. I did not look to see where The Black Coat's Daughter is streaming, but I'm sure in a Google search it will pop up.
So that was my movie, and I have so many
Okay.
more
I
that I
know.
want to talk about, but we'll get
Yeah.
to them.
Well, maybe we will. So maybe we'll be
Awesome.
film reviewers on top
Yeah.
of all the paranormal.
Yeah. Oh, so Halloween is coming
Mm,
up
yes,
this week, and we have an awesome trip coming up.
we do. We
Yes.
do. We
We've
are
been talking
headed.
about it a little
Yeah.
bit here and there.
Yeah, we haven't. It's finally here. Yeah. So the day after Halloween, we are going to be in Atlanta, Indiana, and we are going to be at the Rhodes Hotel. So we will be doing an investigation uh there. And so we will actually be filming, recording, and our goal is to put it together for you guys to see how everything goes while we're there.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
so excited about it.
me too. And too. It's a great group that's coming and it's exciting. I'm excited because people are coming from all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because it's like some people that you know, it's some people I know, it's some people we know together, and
Yeah,
everyone's gonna meet and hang out and have like I just think it's gonna be a great night. So
I do too.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm
I'm
so
super
excited about
excited.
it.
Yeah, me too. So yeah, so we will have that coming soon. Our investigation of the Rhodes Hotel. It's gonna be great.
Woo woo.
Yes, with no Ouija boards allowed. So
No Ouija boards allowed.
nope.
It's okay.
Yeah, we've got other things.
That's right. We've got other devices. That's right.
Right, right. Well, awesome. Real quick, I kind of want to give a shout out for those who know, and if you have any experience with YouTube or any type of streaming service of, with listening to podcasts and music and things like that, we do get some analytics on who's listening, and it's been really interesting. I just kind of want to give a shout out to our fans who are listening. Right now, we have quite a few people from Canada who are listening
We
and
love.
watching, and we have quite a few people from Australia who are
Hmm.
listening and watching, and also in the United Kingdom. So thank you so
Yay.
much, everybody. That's exciting. We and so many other different countries, which I love. To me, that is so exciting. Like we're not just here in the United States. It's expanding into other countries, and so I'm super excited. But yes, right now, Australia has been a big support. So
That
thank
is awesome.
Thank you so much for listening. Yeah, and if you guys have any stories of your own or movies that you want to share with us, please we love the comments. We love the likes, the subscriptions. And if you want to write in, you can tell us your story at unexplainedarchives2025@gmail.com. Like Jamie was talking about, we're going to have lots of pictures of what we did this weekend, plus our story from this week. And you can check it out on Instagram at unexplainedarchives25. And we appreciate you still sticking with us and listening to our stories each week. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. And we'll see you next week with something a little different.
Yeah,
And I'm
exactly.
excited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. Roscoe says bye too.
Yeah, he does. Oh, look at him. A
Yeah.
little gargoyle.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.